Hey there, Facebook and YouTube friends. It's Dane here again for another edition of Hookah Talk. Hopefully, the first thing I want to talk about today, and just get this unpleasantness out of the way, is, as many of us know, Randy the Macho Man Savage passed away today. Apparently, he was driving his Jeep Wrangler. His wife was the passenger, and during his trip, he suffered a heart attack, swerved off the road and into a tree, and was killed. His wife sustained only minor injuries, but Randy Savage has passed away. So, to all of those like myself who have been a fan of wrestling for a number of years and remember watching Randy Savage work his way up from the independents, going into WWF and then on to WCW, his career in the motion pictures. I just want to take a moment and say that, Randy, you're really going to be remiss. There's never going to be anyone else like you again. No one has your showmanship. You had incredible mic skills, and your in-ring performances were nothing short of amazing. So, R.I.P. to Randy Savage. Okay, so now to bring the mood back up a little bit, what do we do on a Hookah Talk today? Well, I have my 20-inch Egyptian hookah out. I've got filtered water in the base. I've got 2 Japanese charcoals on the bowl, and in the bowl I have a mixture of Starbuzz Bubblegum and Starbuzz Pirate's Cave. So we're going to see how that tastes. I thought that might be an interesting flavor. Big thanks to another YouTube user, True Hookah King, who some of you may have seen his videos. He's the one that got me crowning my bowl every time I smoke, and it really does help with your bowl. It gets the heat there directly, and it provides a better smoke. So thank you, True Hookah King, for that advice. Really appreciate that. And I'm on my first round of charcoal, so let's see how it is. Not bad, not bad. You know what the flavor reminds me of? It reminds me of a fruit-flavored bubblegum. Not too strong. It's kind of tastes like tropical fruit bubblegum. Have you ever had the Bubble Yum or Bubblicious varieties of tropical fruit? That's what it tastes like to me. That's the sensation that I'm getting. It's not overpowering, but it's definitely there on the tip of the tongue. I like this mix. Of course, most people would say, any mix that you put together you're going to like, but I wasn't really sure about this. I thought it might be too sweet, but I was going to give it a try anyways, and I'm glad I did. Pirate's Cave, I thought it was just a standalone flavor that's not something that's really mixable. And bubblegum, while I've had it before and it was a very sweet flavor, I didn't know how that would go. So I decided, well, what the heck, these two flavors that probably don't get mixed a lot, I'm going to give it a shot, and I'm glad I did. I really like it. So let's talk NHL. What's going on in the NHL? Well, we're down to our Final Four teams. We've got Boston playing Tampa Bay, and we've got the Vancouver Canucks playing the San Jose Sharks. This means that in the Western Conference, I no longer give a damn. Hate Vancouver, hate San Jose. It's not the players that I don't like, it's just I've never liked the teams in general. I'm just not a big fan of either one of those teams. Of course, I'm going to be against the Sharks because they put the Kings out of the playoffs. And Vancouver, got to give them credit for having a tremendous season, walking away with the President's Trophy. The Sedins have been phenomenal. Roberto Luongo has been phenomenal, but I just don't know what it is about the Canucks. I've just never really liked them very much. I like other Canadian teams. I like the Montreal Canadiens. I was really pulling for them in the playoffs. I like the Calgary Flames. When the Quebec Nordiques were a team, I really liked the Quebec Nordiques, but I don't know what it is about Vancouver. I just don't like them. I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on it. Maybe it's a layover still. Maybe I'm still stinging from the Olympics when Canada won the gold medal over the United States. I don't know. That's pretty trite if that's the truth, and I hope it's not the truth. But I'm just not a big fan. So Western Conference, I don't care. Eastern Conference, Tampa Bay or Boston, I am a little bit ambivalent. I think I'm leaning more towards rooting for Boston because it's been so long since they've had the cup, and it's only been Tampa Bay had the cup. Well, they won the cup back in, was it 2003 or 2004? I'm probably wrong about those dates, but they have a cup under the belts. So I'd like to see Boston, who hasn't had it in a while, I'd like to see them win it. They've been playing very, very hard. Tim Thomas has been playing his guts out, trying to get this far, and they had such a bad exit last year when Philadelphia put them out. So I'm hoping they can go to the finals. I'd like to see them hoist the cup. That would be nice. If Tampa Bay does it, I'll be happy with that. If Vancouver or San Jose does, I'm not going to be too happy. I'll just have to say, well, have to wait for next season. Well, I'm already waiting for next season because the Kings are out of it, so we'll see what happens. But next year, I think the two teams are going to be pulling for the most. Definitely going to be the Kings, of course, and the Montreal Canadiens. They've just sort of been this upstart team the past couple of years, so I'm really going to be pulling for them. Gonna check my charcoal real quick, check the ash. Charcoal is fine, got the ash off. Let's take a hit. Smoke isn't incredibly thick, but I think that's due to the fact that I'm only using 2 pieces of charcoal. I've decided to go down to using just 2 pieces. I started out using 3, but I don't have, well, I have one big bowl that's like a 40-gram bowl, so that you have to have like 3 pieces or 2 big pieces of of like the Egyptian style charcoal, the big block charcoal. But on these smaller bowls, I found that doing 2 actually gets you a better result. It does a little bit slower of a burn, and your session lasts longer. You don't get the really thick hot smoke, but I don't think that's necessary to actually enjoy the entire experience. If your smoke is a little bit thin, that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're not getting the full flavor of the shisha. So tomorrow, Saturday, 21st, Rapture. No, I don't. Listen, I'm just telling you right now, if it does happen, those of you that go, I'm taking your shit, because you're not going to be here anymore. So as far as I'm concerned, Rapture losers, finders, keepers, okay? Just letting you know that. I don't know where they're getting this from, really. This guy who did the prediction, he actually wrote a book called 1994, in which he predicted that it was going to happen in 1994. Oops, he was wrong. But according to the people who are behind him, they said, well, if you read the book, he said it's going to happen in 1994 or 2011. If you use the formula he used, and if you input the logarithm that he used, you get 1994 or 2011. Really? One or the other? That's kind of a that's kind of a dick move, isn't it, by God, to make a guess between 1994 and 2011? You know, I mean, wouldn't it be like a definite times table? I mean, wouldn't it be like a definite date? I mean, wouldn't you think that in some chapter of the Bible there would be a verse, oh, by the way, the rapture is going to happen on this date. Make sure all your shit is in order. What the fuck? What the fuck? I just don't know how people are getting behind this. I mean, I guess you have to be a really devout Christian to really believe in this nonsense. And the fact of the matter is, the majority of Christians are calling this guy a crackpot. That's not good for business. That's really bad for business. So, and tomorrow I anticipate a lot of post-rapture celebrations. There will be considerable looting if anything does happen, so be advised. But I wouldn't worry about it too much, especially since it's supposed to happen at 6 p.m. across all time zones. You don't get a time zone. It's just supposed to happen at 6 p.m. So I guess, it'll work its way across the globe, while it's happening in this country. It's going to make a little tidal wave effect, and it's going to be going and going and going. So I guess, here in California, when it's 3 p.m., it'll be happening on the East Coast. So I guess we'll be able to watch it and we'll be able to anticipate what's going to happen. And we'll have a little extra time to get our affairs in order, right? Please, as far as I'm concerned, if it doesn't happen, I'm going to declare a holiday on May 21st and call it Rapture Failure Day. And we should have greeting cards and parties, and we should have like a rapture, like a bush or something that we can put, presents or, picnic items, like maybe some coleslaw, some potato salad. Just make a day out of it, just for kicks, I don't know. Right, you can probably barely see the smoke. The wind's really starting to kick up out here. And that's another thing. This is why it's good to have your bowl crowned, especially if you're outside like I am. You want to get that crowned because if there is wind, you don't want ash going everywhere. You don't want it getting on anything that might be flammable. You don't want it getting in your eye, on your clothing, in your hair. You don't want it to bother the neighbors. So if you do smoke outside, if you don't have a place in your house that you use for smoking your hookah, and it's covered, that's one thing. But if you're outside, get yourself a crown. They're very, very inexpensive. The one I got cost, I think it was $4 or $5. It's a nice tall crown. So get yourself one if you're going to be outside. It's really safety first when you're doing this. As usual, I'm just drinking straight regular water. I'm just using an old vitamin water bottle that I had some filtered water in, but just drinking plain regular water. When you are smoking, it's a good idea to keep yourself hydrated. And you want to do that because as you smoke, right here in the bottom of your mouth and down your throat, it will get dehydrated. So you want to hydrate yourself so you can get the full taste of the shisha. And try to drink just water, or maybe iced tea, or very, very watered down lemonade. Don't drink soda, don't drink coffee, don't drink anything that's carbonated. You want to stay with water because it's a nice neutral taste and it'll keep you hydrated. Soda won't hydrate you very well. It might take away your thirst, but the sugary residue will prevent you from getting the full hydration effects. So when you are smoking, please drink water. Water. No, and it's not vodka. That's not vodka. I don't do, not during the day anyways, okay? Well, I can't think too much else to talk about today. If you have any questions, put them down here in the comments. If there's any topics you'd like me to cover during my next Hookah Talk, go ahead and put those suggestions in. Anything you want to know, anything you want to talk about, just put it down below in the comments and let me know, and I will go through them and I will try and answer them for you. So that's today's edition of Hookah Talk. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I'll see you next time on Hookah Talk.